Hey guys, and welcome back for another content of Ragnarok M Classic. After playing Sorcerer and releasing the guide for it, it's time to switch for another mage class. And the class that I want to discuss is the Flame type Warlock. Warlocks are known to be the master of elements that deals large of area of effect damage, and can also do a lot of crowd controls. But this build will focus on fire damage, casting meteor storms and dealing burn damage to enemies. They also have some defensive skill that prevents them from taking damage for a small amount of time with their white barrier. I've decided that this class will be my main class when the official release starts. So if you also like this kind of playstyle, then let's jump right into it. First, we'll take a look at the stats. The main stats and should be max is the intelligence for magic attack. Their secondary will be dexterity to reduce your casting time. It is indicated here that every 30 dex will reduce the variable cast time by 1 second. In this case, I have 182 dex in total, that is why my casting time is reduced by 6. So any of my skill that have 6-second casting time will be no cast. This is recommended when you are still gaining all your reduced variable cast time through equipment, headgears, and other stuff. And if you have more of it in the endgame, you might consider reducing your dex and allocate it on the other stats. And the other stats that you should consider is the vitality for more survivability. I am also considering the agility and attack speed in the endgame since some of our runes have auto attack damage and triggering spells on it, and they can be combo with other proc cards while waiting for the meteor storm cooldown. Now let's check the skills. For the mage, get the level 5 soul strike for early grinding skill, level 5 firebolt for single target fire damage skill, to get the level 5 Ring of Fire to block some melee attacks that are approaching your character. Level 10 increase SP recovery, and then the remaining 10 skill points will be on the Cold Bolt. Now if you wonder, hey Light, why do you max Cold Bolt instead of Firebolt? I thought this build is Flame Warlock. Yup, this build is Flame Warlock, but we need to consider some situations like when we are facing a fire property monster. As you can see here, our damage to fire property will only be 25%, and thus a lot of damage reduced. So to counter these fire element monsters, we need a backup plan, and that is to allocate some of our water skills. Also, if you wonder why the Cold Bolt is level 15, it is due to the job class breakthrough, which is only achievable when you reach transcended job level 40, and you can exceed your job level by another 30, and for which other skills can exceed just like this Cold Bolt. We'll go back here later, but for the second job, Magic Crusher will be your most used single target skill when grinding. Level 1 Sight to reveal nearby hidden enemies. Level 5 Energy Coat, a buff that reduces damage taken and also increases your magic attack as well. Level 10 Storm Gust for water AoE skill, and then the rest is up to you. You can allocate it to Soul Drain for SP regen when killing enemy with a single target skill, or get the Lord of Vermilion. For the High Wizard skill, get the level 10 Amplify Magic Power to furtherly boost your magic skill damage. Level 10 Ally to have a chance of inflicting damage over time fire damage to enemies that are hit with fire type skills. Level 10 Flame Dash will be the replacement for your Firebolt, since this skill deals more damage to enemies that have a stacking burn status. Level 5 Stone Curse, and then level 5 Marsh Pun. This is good for PvP. Now for the breakthrough, we'll go back for the mage. Get another 5 levels of Cold Bolt. For Wizard is another 10 levels of Storm Gust, and 5 more levels for Energy Coat for the Ignore MDef. Then for the Wizard, add another level 10 for the Amplify Magic Power. Now the imported skill, and we will mostly use, the Meteor Storm, is not here in our skill tree. That is because it is only available in the rune system, or the Aesir monument. Once you get that specific rune, the Meteor Storm will be available here on the second tab. I will also guide you with that later on the rune section. Now for the Warlock, you only need these 4 skills to furtherly increase your damage. Get level 10 Elemental Enhancement first to increase your element damage when using elemental skills. Level 10 Recognize Spell to increase your magic pierce and damage to monsters and grants 4 element orbs that corresponds to your passive Elemental Enhancement. Level 5 Fast Reading Spell to reduce your fixed casting time and the after skill delay of all your skills, as well as attack speed. And then level 5 Status Vulnerability to increase your damage to enemies that are burned, freeze, stunned, or bleed. Your passive skill Alight is also a burning status skill, so it will complement this passive. Then the rest will be up to you. Now let's go to our equipment. I'm going to start with the Saint set for the early game. I already discussed this on my guides and tips part 1 if you haven't checked it out. If you can budget some zennies, I advise you to buy 2 or 3 parts of the Saint gears, the armor, shield, and cape for job EXP bonus, because job level here in ROM Classic is very important. For your weapon, just use the free one and then refine it to +10. Also upgrade it to furtherly increase its magic attack. This weapon is already good since it has a -20% variable cast time. Next is the adventure set for the mid game. Aim for the blue ones and refine it. Keep in mind that these adventure sets have different stats. So for the wizard, here are the adventure gear stats that you need to refine and equip. Now slowly transition your gears for the end game. First, get the weapon, which is the wizardry staff. This will increase your int, magic attack, and ignore MDef. Your initial goal is the 3rd upgrade. For your offhand is the sacrifice book to add more ignore MDef stat, and your initial goal is the 4th upgrade. You also have the option to go for the Orleans server to combo it with the Orleans glove accessory for the -20% variable cast time. For your armor is the robe of cast for additional magic attack and reduced variable cast time. Garment is the Natukig's cloak. Footgear is the crystal pump. And then the other accessory will be the Eye of Dulahan to complete the set effect. Now for the headwears, I observed that some headwears are still not listed here in our adventure handbook. So if I missed something, just comment down below. But based on the adventure handbook, this is what I'm going to recommend. For head, the magic ice is good. If I'm correct, this is free when you upgrade to wizard class. Fire hat for the magic pen, magic attack, and int. And Sunday hat to reduce more variable cast time, but this needs to be +10. For face, you have the option for the monocle for more magic attacks, and an evil eye for the ignore MDef. For mount is the grandpa beard for magic penetration, but angry star will be better overall for the reduced variable cast time. For the backwear, you can craft the double wing for the magic damage +5%. You can also use the free watcher's bag. Spring for the ignore MDef as well as magic attack. But if you have spare zennies, the misconch is also great since it also adds percentage of def and MDef and reduces the def and MDef for enemies around you. Then for the tail is the Sea Soul's tail for the added wind, earth, water, and fire damage +4%. Now let's move to the cards. For weapon are the racial cards, but you also have the option to go for the Frioni for the skill damage, Firelord Kaho for the fire damage. Offhand is the Anubis star. Armor is the Agab for the 8% more magic attack. For garment is the Harpy star. For footgear is the Familiar star, or the Dark Lord for a chance of triggering Meteor Storm when attacked by an enemy. For accessories, Fire Witch will be one of the best slots. Zipper Bear star will be the universal accessory card, and then the Elder Willow star. And then for the headwear is the Sealed Apocalypse for ignore MDef. You also have the option for the White Bait Lake Lord, Icy star, Clock Tower Manager star, or the Marduk for the anti-silence and PvP. Now for the runes, just follow this in particular order. First, you need the Meteor Storm 1. Second is the Meteor Storm 2. Third is the Fire Pillar attack. Fourth is Fire Pillar Empower. Fifth is Alight Empower. Sixth is Fire Damage. Seventh is the Double Fire Pillars. Then 8 is the Status Vulnerability Enhance. Then the rest is up to you for your additional playstyle. For the prayer card, basically all of them are important except for the Combat Blessing, because this one is for the physical type classes. But if you want some more magic attacks, then just focus on the Wise Blessing. Then for the Blessing of Goddess, I advise you to upgrade them equally. For the red is the Ignore MDef, M-Pen, Magic Attack, and Refined Magic Attack. Damage to Demi-Human is optional if you really want to do PvP. For the blue, you can fill all these cards equally. Then for the yellow, the fire damage is the top priority. You can also add the water damage. For the pet is the Isis to reduce your casting time, or Sohi for the magic attack, and it also increases your SP regen speed. For the meal, you need to cook for you to level up your cookbook. like what I've discussed in the guides and tips part 1, so please check it out to know the tricks on how to level it up faster. Original wheel juice will be beneficial for your character. And then original wheel ice cream if you are doing boss hunts. Then lastly is the food. You only have the option for the int meal for the int stat and the magic damage. So there you have it. If you find this video helpful, then please leave a like. Also subscribe to support my channel and be updated with my latest guides. As always, thank you for watching, stay safe and have an awesome day. Lights out.